right, welcome back, everybody. We are in the Knox Hollow wood shop again today, and we're finishing up a few more wands for the upcoming convention in Missoula called MizCon. And what I've got for you today is a nice little maple wand, and we're going to do a special edition and make it fancy, kind of creepy. And yeah. So before I get too deep into that, I do want to give a quick shout out to all my member supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you would like to be a member supporter as well, then you can slide right down here and yeah, just join the channel and that'll help us do more videos in the future. And we'll probably do some cool giveaways and stuff like that for channel members as well, in addition to some of the other perks. Anyways, for this maple wand, the maple is, one of my favorite woods to turn. It's a really nice, very light colored wood. It takes dye well. It looks, just amazing just in its natural state, and it polishes, it's, it's very dense, but it just comes off, as you can see, that it's just coming off a little curly ribbons there. And, so it's a really, really, nice wood to work with. So for this, though, for the special edition, I am going to, do kind of one of the creepy sorta wands that I've been doing lately, those real popular design with the kinda holy crackly finish, in it. And, we're gonna contrast this, really pale maple wood with, that kind of, dark, give it a dark heart. So, anyways, just I'll skip some of this here, but what I'm basically doing at this point is just get the wand in a round shape, and then I turn the blade down to about the right size that it's going to be, that I can fit it up inside the chuck jaws, and I'll do that a couple times, so I can fit it as far in there as I can get, and that will leave me less unsupported wood so that I can work on the handle. And once that's done, then, it makes it a lot easier to work on. Now that I've got the blade turned down to the right size, I'll go ahead and mark out generally where I want the handle to be, and for these, I put, kind of a bulbous shape on the, pommel and the guard where I, do all the hole carving and stuff, but I also wanna try to do some, more interesting stuff kinda in between those as well, and for this, I'm gonna mark out a couple of beads here that we're gonna put into it, and, just takes me a little while to kinda figure out exactly how I wanna space it out, and once I get that done, then I'll start working in the handle. All right, so I'm doing the preliminary shaping on this now, and as you can see, I've got kind of a couple of bead shapes in there, and I'm working this top or the guard area in, where that's just going to have that kind of more organic, natural shape to it, so that I can drill in those creepy holes and stuff. If you're liking these videos, if you'd like to see more, you can slide down to the subscribe button too, by the way. And if you'll hit the bell icon there, then you'll get notified anytime that I post some more videos. And we do a lot of wand making videos, and then also we do some leatherworking and some stoneworking, metalworking, just whatever I am working on project wise. If it's nerdy and geeky, then I'm probably into it. So, but yeah, that'll give you a chance to check those out as well. All right, you can see that shape really starting to kind of come together there, and I decided to put two sort of rounded bead shapes there in the middle of the handle, and I think that those are going to work really well with, um, with the dye that I want to put in there, because I do for this dye. I also I want it to be mostly down into the cracks and stuff, because I still want to do an oil and wax finish on this. And I did try. I was trying a new tool there, and I think that the idea of the tool was really good, but it's just not really, not great for doing small diameter, pieces like this. So I tend to just go back to that little spindle detail gouge, most of the time for doing all my detail work. So, but yeah, so we'll do a little bit of sanding here, and I get some preliminary sanding in, and then I'll get that wire burned in here as well. Okay, so now that, I got this, I think I take this up to about a 320 grit, and, this is where I'll put in those wire burns. I really like this, even though I'm gonna put dye in there, it just adds, a nice, transitional, um, uh, design element to that, to put those wood burn, uh, marks in there with the wire, and I do that pretty much on almost every wand, to kinda give it some definition and stuff. And then we'll get the little sprue, the tenon parted off of the, pommel here, and then we'll do some, final shaping and get this all, start getting it sanded up, and then we'll start doing the Dremel work. The Dremel that I'm using here, is, like more of it's a Kutzall bit, um, and it's got the bit is tapered, so the deeper I drill into that, the bigger the hole kinda gets there. So I'll go in with this for this design and put in the some larger holes, more towards the center, and then I won't go quite as deep. I'll do some, you can see they're a little bit smaller there, that I'm putting in. And we'll do that both in the top and bottom, and of course, the really deep, the wider holes, the deeper ones, those will connect on the inside as well. So there's basically holes running all the way through this, and it gives it kind of a porous, nature. And I'm not really sure, like, I'd almost say it's kind of porous like the inside of bone, or I've seen some, cactus skeletons that have they're usually more oval shaped, but, that kind of idea, and we'll do the with this Dremel, and then we'll do several different bits and go through some different sizes. And just a quick reminder, if you can slide down there and hit that thumbs up button, that really helps us out too, and we really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. And so this is, the smaller one of the smaller bits, and this is just a carbide, burr, and it's, just a round, kind of a ball shape. And that's about, the biggest I get on, the carbide, bits, and then we'll go down to a little bit smaller, ball shape as well to kind of start filling in some more little speckly details and give it some texture. And then we'll go in with the detail, kind of a detail burr bit, and we'll connect those all together with lines and, give it that creepy, crackly effect. And these detail lines that I do with this are, they're probably the most time consuming, that I do on this particular design. The sanding obviously always takes a lot of time, but especially the more holes that you put into it, then the more lines that you're having to connect, together to all the holes. And I need to get those lines deep enough, that the dye will get down, in there, and then that way I can sand it off the surface really well and still have that deep, kind of dark heart that I want to put into this. So, but yeah, it's really time consuming, but it's really neat to see that final look. Kind of looks kind of sort of cracked and, just distorted or something. So, it's a really fun design to do though. And then I like to run those cracks up, kinda towards the center there, so that they look like they're kinda growing together, or at some point we're part of, one piece there. And then I'm also in that centerpiece putting in, some more of those little crackly lines as well to help tie that, together. And, yeah, once that's done, then we'll just move into the sanding, because this burr bit is gonna leave kind of, fuzzy edges, around the upper surface where it kinda tears out, the wood a little bit. And so we have to go back through our sanding process, which is one of the reasons I only sand up to a certain point before I do this, and then that way, once I get to here, then I can start going into the, the finer, grits there. You can see there's an awful lot of, sanding dust in the air, so it's a good reminder to, wear your respirator even with the more domestic woods like this. And maple isn't necessarily, it doesn't usually cause allergic reactions like Purple Heart or, some of the tropical woods do, but it's definitely really bad for your lungs. So, make sure that you're wearing, proper protection when you do this. So now we'll go into the, the dye, and this is again, this is just Fiebing's leather dye. I really like their black, dye for this, better than, what it's kinda like doing ebonizing, but I've seen people use an India ink, and I just really had terrible luck with that. So, but the dye penetrates the wood grain really well. It stains it really nicely. And I've got that going down into all the grooves and as deep down into the holes as I can. And then I did polish this up pretty good to start with, not the full range, but that's going to allow me to come in with this the denatured alcohol and wipe off as much of the surface dye as I can before I go to the sanding. That way I don't have to sand it down quite so deeply. So, but that worked out really pretty well. And then we just move into our final sanding, and we'll take this, down from the heavier grits. I think I start this around a 320, sometimes, the 240, but or 320, 240 right in there, because that's gonna take off the dye really fast. I don't spend a whole lot of time with those heavy grits because I don't wanna sand it down too much. And then, yeah, I'll just take this, once I get most of the surface dye removed, then we'll just take it all the way up to the polished 2500 grit. And then also you'll see there that I'm using that air blower, and that's something else that really helps with this, especially when you have all those little grooves and all the holes and stuff. Is having that air blower to kind of blow all the sanding dust and stuff out of the cracks and stuff. And that really helps out, keep it clean and keeps any sanding grit from the heavier grits from scratching up that surface when you move to the polishing grits as well. And after a whole lot of time sanding, which I've edited out, I'll do a final blow off there before I get the oil on it. But we'll just kind of finish up that polish, and then I'll pull it out here for you to kind of look at. And yeah, this is what it looks like with the oil. And all that needs after this is a wax finish, and I'll get the final pictures up here. But I really like that it just has that really dark sort of energy to it. And the final pictures here turned out really well. So you can really see the grain on that maple, especially in the shot. It's just got a really interesting grain pattern to it, and it always polishes up. And when the light hits it right as it's moving, it almost has an iridescence to that grain, that cross grain right in the middle there, and really contrasts well. So you have that really pale, interesting wood that's got some interesting light effects in it as it refracts the light through, and then you have these really dark, the crevices and cracks and holes and stuff in there. So it just kind of gives it a really dark heart. And I thought it would just be an interesting contrast to do with a very bright, light colored wand, and then giving it that really dark, sinister sort of heart to it. I hope you enjoyed the video, though. We're gonna head on off to MizCon this weekend, and hopefully, when we get back, I'll have a bunch more wands to make for you, and maybe we'll start messing around with some new ideas and new designs too. So, if you've got some ideas and comments, things that you'd like to see, then make sure you leave them down in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching.